Right now at 9, breaking news. The FBI has executed a search of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home in Palm Beach, Florida.
The investigation tied to materials Trump allegedly took from Washington, D.C. after his presidency concluded.
Natalie Bomke live with what the former president is saying about it tonight. Natalie.
The former president was in New York when this all unfolded. Early this morning, he was spotted leaving Trump Tower after the raid. He released a statement saying that his Palm Beach home was, quote, under siege, raided and occupied by a large group of FBI agents. He did not detail why the raid might have taken place, only calling it an act of, quote, political persecution and an attack by radical left Democrats. Take a look at these photos that appear to show FBI agents at the gates of Mar-a-Lago. Sources telling Fox News tonight those agents were looking for classified material, taking 15 boxes.
Hello, welcome, guys. Adam is here. All right, get ready for this one. What I'm about to tell you sounds like the plot of a political thriller, but this is not fiction. This is raw, documented reality, and it just detonated at the heart of American power. Investigators, during what was supposed to be a routine check, have made a discovery inside the Oval Office so shocking, so brazen, that it completely rewrites the ongoing legal saga surrounding Donald Trump.
Donald Trump was seen leaving Trump Tower in Midtown Monday. It was moments after Trump issued a lengthy statement claiming federal agents broke into his safe in his primary residence of Mar-a-Lago, with the former president saying in part, after working and cooperating with the relevant government agencies, this unannounced raid on my home was not necessary or appropriate. Sources tell CBS News this FBI search of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate was part of an investigation into his handling of White House documents. Back in February, the National Archives asked the Department of Justice to investigate Trump's handling of White House records. It came after officials retrieved 15 boxes of records from Mar-a-Lago that were meant for preservation under federal law. The papers included some classified material brought to the residence after the Trump administration departed the White House.
Forget a back storage room. Forget a forgotten box in a basement. We're talking about the sanctum sanctorum itself, the president's personal study, his desk, a concealed wall safe. And inside, a secret stash of the nation's most guarded secrets.
More than 11,000 documents, 33 boxes, 7 of which were in the former president's office. That's despite Mr. Trump's attorneys telling the FBI that they were all in a storage room. We also learned that 48 folders with classified banners on them were completely empty. For more on the ongoing investigation,
they found over 50 highly classified documents. Not just classified, but marked top secret, NOFORN, the highest restricted level, meaning no foreign nationals can ever see them.
The unsealed documents show the FBI found 11 sets of classified materials, one of them marked as top secret SCI, requiring the highest security clearances that only a few in the federal government have. Sources tell ABC News the documents the FBI believed were illegally in Trump's possession were sensitive material with national security implications. The Washington Post also reporting that some of the material in Trump's possession included documents related to nuclear weapons. Trump no longer has a security clearance.
There are laws against the improper handling of this material.
Attorney General Merrick Garland says he personally approved the search warrant request approved by a federal judge who was convinced there was evidence of a crime at the former president's primary residence.
The department does not take such a decision lightly.
The subject matter? Iran, military strike plans, nuclear facilities, the kind of intelligence that dictates war and peace, the kind of files that live in vaults within vaults, guarded by layers of security protocols and armed personnel. And Donald Trump had them tucked away in his office like personal souvenirs, mixed in with rally notes, Diet Coke receipts, and empty classified folders. This isn't a procedural error. This is a pattern of behavior so reckless it defies belief, and it just handed prosecutors a case that could end his presidency. The scene of the crime, the Oval Office desk. Let's set the scene. It's early 2026. Amid the ongoing legal maelstrom surrounding Trump's handling of classified documents, a saga born at Mar-a-Lago, investigators are conducting a standard compliance sweep of the White House. This is protocol, a check to ensure sensitive materials are where they should be. They enter the Oval Office, not the public ceremonial space, but the president's personal adjoining study, the place where the real work happens. They approach the Resolute Desk, an icon of the presidency itself. They open drawers. What they find inside is a breathtaking violation of every national security protocol in the book. Dozens of documents, each bearing the stark, damning markings of top-secret classification. They weren't filed. They weren't secured in a proper, sensitive, compartmented information facility, SCIF. They were intermingled with the detritus of daily life, scraps of paper, personal memos, the flotsam and jetsam of a chaotic workspace. It was a junk drawer for America's most critical defense secrets. But it gets worse. The search revealed a concealed wall safe, a hidden compartment. Inside, more of the same. A clandestine archive of the nation's most sensitive intelligence, curated and hidden away in the people's house. The staggering hypocrisy. Mar-a-Lago redux, but worse. This is where the context turns this from a scandal into an inferno. Remember the Mar-a-Lago raid? The images of FBI agents removing boxes? Trump's furious claims of a witch hunt? His insistence that he had an absolute right to those documents? That they were mine? That entire defense was built on a foundation of sand, and this discovery just washed it away. At Mar-a-Lago, the excuse was that he was a private citizen, maybe confused about procedures. The storage, in a ballroom, a bathroom, a storage room, was portrayed as sloppy but not sinister. His supporters rallied around the flag of presidential prerogative. But this is different. This is the sitting president of the United States, with full and immediate access to the most secure facilities on the planet, choosing instead to squirrel away NOFORN documents in a desk drawer while actively serving in the Oval Office. It proves the Mar-a-Lago situation wasn't an anomaly. It was a habit, a conscious, repeated choice to treat America's crown jewel secrets as his personal property. The sloppiness is a mirror image. At Mar-a-Lago, aides used a tiny screwdriver to access a storage room. In the Oval Office, the secrets were in a hidden safe next to fast food receipts. The pattern is undeniable. For Donald Trump, supreme national security is an inconvenience, and classified protocols are suggestions. The smoking gun. Audio that obliterates his defense. Now, let's introduce the element that transforms this from a damaging story into a potentially criminal indictment. We have the tape. From 2021, at his Bedminster club in New Jersey, Trump was recorded discussing a specific, highly classified document. On that audio, his voice is clear. He is not claiming executive power. He is not declaring it declassified. He states a fact. This is secret. Now I can't declassify it. Let that sentence hang in the air. It is the skeleton key that unlocks the entire maze of lies. His entire legal and public relations defense has been a mystical incantation. I declassified everything. I had a standing order. The power was absolute. Former officials have testified under oath. No such standing order existed. Proper channels were never used. But here, in his own voice, he admits the truth. He acknowledges the document's classified status, this is secret, and confesses his own inability to change that unilaterally. I can't declassify it. This audio is not a gotcha moment. It is a confession. It proves scienter, legal knowledge of wrongdoing. He knew they were secret. He knew he couldn't just wave his hand. And he took them anyway. He hid them anyway. This audio shreds the presidential prerogative argument. It eviscerates the witch hunt narrative. It leaves him naked before the law with only one defense left, that he is a liar. Either he was lying then to his guests at Bedminster, or he is lying now to the American public and the courts. There is no third option. The devil in the details. What NOFORN in a desk drawer really means to grasp the gravity, you must understand what top-secret NOFORN represents. This isn't a routine briefing memo. This classification is reserved for information that, if disclosed, could cause exceptionally grave damage to national security. It often involves sources and methods, the names of spies, the capabilities of satellites, the plans for military strikes. Its compromise can get people killed and cripple intelligence networks for decades. Finding these documents loose in a desk is the equivalent of finding the nuclear football left on a park bench. It represents a catastrophic failure of duty. The empty classified folders mixed in are particularly sinister. They suggest a process, documents being removed from their protective coverings, perhaps to be shown, perhaps to be copied, perhaps to be hidden more easily. It speaks to activity, not just neglect. The political dynamite, midterms in the crosshairs. The timing of this discovery is political dynamite. We are rolling into the heart of the 2026 midterm election cycle. Voters are tuning in, candidates are sharpening their messages, and now, the defining image of the Republican president is not one of strength, but of scandal. A man caught red-handed hoarding the nation's most dangerous secrets beside his personal clutter. For Democrats, this is a devastating weapon. The campaign ads write themselves. A slow zoom on the top secret stamp, the audio clip of Trump saying, "I can't declassify it," a shot of the Oval Office door. The narrative is airtight. He is a risk. He is a liar. He believes the rules do not apply to him. For Republican candidates, this is a nightmare. They are now forced into an impossible choice: defend the indefensible and tie themselves to a legally toxic president, or break ranks and risk the fury of the MAGA base. Every interview will become a trap. Do you condone the president storing nuclear secrets in his desk? There is no good answer. This also fuels the overarching narrative of Trump's instability. It's not an isolated incident. It's a chapter in a book that includes pre-dawn truth social rants, the accidental leaking of economic data, slurred speeches, and mass resignations from the Secret Service. The pattern paints a picture of a man unfit for the awesome responsibility he holds. The legal avalanche, from scandal to handcuffs. Legally, this is the point where Jack Smith's case transforms from strong to virtually unassailable. The Espionage Act. The willful retention of national defense information is a cornerstone of the charges. Here, willful is proven by the audio. Retention is proven by the physical discovery. National defense information is stamped on every page. Obstruction of justice, the concealed safe, the removal from folders, the hiding in plain sight amidst personal items. These are not acts of forgetfulness. They are acts of concealment. They demonstrate a consciousness of guilt. Prosecutors will argue he wasn't just keeping them, he was hiding them. The death of a defense, the declassification fantasy, is now corpse. You cannot argue in court that you believed you had declassified documents when there is a recording of you stating the exact opposite. That audio is a perjury trap waiting to happen for anyone who testifies otherwise. This discovery bridges the Mar-a-Lago case and the current Oval Office violation into one continuous narrative of criminal conduct. It shows the behavior persisted into his presidency, demolishing any argument that he was a confused former official. He was the commander-in-chief, and he chose to break the laws he was sworn to uphold. The inevitable response, a 3 a.m. tantrum and a nation's judgment. And how did President Trump respond to this existential threat? Exactly as you'd predict. In the dead of night, a Truth Social post erupted. Hoax! Witch hunt! Deep state! The familiar, frantic incantations meant to shield him from reality. But this time, the spells won't work. You can't hoax a physical document with a top-secret marking pulled from your own desk. You can't deep state your own voice on tape admitting the secrets are secret. The evidence is tangible. It is audible. It is incontrovertible. This is the moment the shield of propaganda cracks under the weight of fact. For the public, for swing voters, for hesitant senators, this moves the story from the fog of partisan claims into the clear light of documented evidence. So, here we are. They found something in Trump's office that nobody truly expected to find. Not just papers, but proof. Proof of a mindset that views national security as a personal privilege. Proof of a pattern that stretches from a Florida resort to the very desk in the Oval Office. Proof, in his own voice, that he knew exactly what he was doing. This isn't just another news cycle. This is a pivot point. Legally, it provides the prosecutorial equivalent of a slam dunk. Politically, it hangs like an anvil around the neck of every candidate who stands with him. Culturally, it forces a final, stark assessment. Is this who we are? A nation where the most sacred secrets are treated as personal trinkets? The hidden safe in the Oval Office wasn't just hiding documents. It was hiding the truth about Donald Trump's respect for the presidency, for the law, and for the safety of the American people. Now that the safe is open, there's no closing it. The reckoning has arrived, and it was hiding in plain sight all along.